I'm afraid. And if you're a Saints fan, you should probably be afraid too. This O-line is complete garbage. I'm not lying when I say we have one of the worst O-lines in the league. The O-line as of right now has allowed 4 sacks a game. We are on pace for 68 sacks. Nearly double of what we had last year. Carr has been sacked 11 times and Jameis has been sacked 1. But we all kind of brushed it off until Sunday, where the O-line got tortured. Really, by only one player, Rashan Gary. Gary only played 20 pass rush snaps, but in these 20, he had 5 pressures, 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, and a 30% win rate. That is disgusting work by Gary. He was having a field day with our O-line. Eventually, one of his sacks led to him slamming Carr onto the ground, where Carr suffered an AC sprain. Fortunately, it isn't anything too major, as Dennis Allen put it.
I think we dodged a bullet there in terms of anything of real, significance. I think we're kind of saying week to week.
Dennis Allen has yet to rule out Carr for the Bucs game. Carr said in a press conference that if he can play, he will.
I do anything and everything I can with my rehab, everything with the trainers. I'm going to do everything I can to be out there with my guys. If I can play, I'll play. If I physically just can't play, then I can't play.
Drew Brees also spoke out on Carr's AC sprain injury. Brees said, "That was the one time in my career where I literally did not throw a ball all week and just showed up on game day and played." So, for all we know, we could see Carr as soon as Sunday. Raiders fans constantly praise Carr for being resilient, and they say he always recovers from injuries fast. But even if he does, I don't want him out there. Truth be told, even if he was 100% healthy, I still don't want him out there with that O-line. They could get him seriously hurt. This O-line is that bad. The Saints made a huge investment with Carr. They had to do something, because believe me, at the rate the O-line is going, someone is bound to get hurt again. But who is to blame for the O-line's lack of success? On paper, we should have a good O-line. There is talent all over the place, and much of the O-line has found a lot of success before. But this season, all that just went out the window. A big part of the Saints fandom has been beginning to shift some blame onto the O-line coach, Doug Marrone. One responsibility for the O-line coach is to work with the offensive coordinator to create schemes. Let me show you an example. Look at this play right here. Who do we have all the way to the right? Why are we putting Landon Young, a backup lineman, against Gary, the Packers' best rusher, one-on-one, while the rest of the O-line is double teaming the other D-line players? It makes no sense at all. What do y'all think? Who is to blame for this horrible O-line? Is it the players themselves, or is it coaching? Ryan Ramczyk had a horrible game on Sunday. He was actually the worst O-lineman that day. He was responsible for the sack that got Carr injured, and on the contrary, Trevor Penning was one of the best that day. This O-line is just way too inconsistent. The Saints have to figure this one out, because we are truly only as good as our O-line. They are the only thing holding us back. I really believe with at least an average O-line, we would be a powerhouse. But we finally got Kamara back, and he'll play his first game this Sunday. Maybe he could ease a bit of the pressure off the O-line, and maybe he can revive our rushing offense.
Me and Mike T been talking, and however it goes, it's gonna go. It is what it is. That's how it go. And then Marshawn will be ready. So we're gonna do what we gotta do.
I also want to say a word on the D-line. They were really mediocre this game, but there is somewhat of a reason for their lack of productivity, and it's simply because the Packers O-line is just really that good. PFF has them ranked as the best O-line through 3 weeks. Future me here. As I'm editing this, the Packers O-line just got exposed by the Lions, so take this with a grain of salt. But this still really isn't an excuse when I tell you we couldn't pressure Love at all. In the fourth quarter, the Packers had a lot of big chunk plays simply because Jordan Love had all the time in the world. So even when the secondary had tight coverage on everyone, the Packers would just extend the play until one of the receivers got open. Even when the D-line did manage to get pressure or almost sack Jordan Love, he just ran out the pocket. In total, we only had 1 sack this game, and that came from Alontae Taylor. By the way, can we talk about Alontae right quick? That dude was a monster all game. He was playing slot and outside corner and was going crazy regardless of where he lined up. Alontae had 5 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1 sack, and 5 pass breakups. But the Saints still choked. I will say this though, the Packers got helped a lot by those back-to-back PI calls. Even Alontae Taylor agrees.
I think the penalties is what got them down the field. I don't think they really drove the ball down us. That's the only way that they had success down there. I didn't think it was a PI, but like we say, the flag was thrown. That's the result of it, so.
These have to be some of the weakest PI calls I've ever seen. The Packers got 67 yards from these 2 calls, and it basically got them to the end zone for free. Y'all think they were actually PI calls or nah? It's just kind of funny how the refs make these calls when the Packers are struggling, but I digress. I won't discredit the Packers for making their comeback, but I really believe had Carr not gone down, the score would be way different. Actually, even without Carr, we probably still would have won if Grupe made that kick, but he didn't. This loss was all over the place and there were a lot of factors for it. But what do y'all think though? Why did we choke? Did Carr going down really affect the team that much? Or is that not an excuse to lose? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe. Have a good day and peace.